if you don't mind sharing with us, what's the second question someone should be asking?
You bet, Yoshi. Second question, other than coverage on the home or building, what other coverage do you suggest for my investment and why? So part of the nightmare story was having enough coverage in the building.
Yeah.
That's obviously very important. We've got the right inputs, so we're calculating that correctly, maybe having a little bit of a buffer if there's an increase in building costs. That can happen.
Yes.
But what other coverages? So one obvious one is liability. It sounds like you've got some phenomenal guests that have a ton of experience in this. I use Jeff Brailio a lot, and landlords are and real estate investors are a target, and having enough liability coverage is essential. I learned that in my liability claim to not skimp on that.
Yeah.
Luckily, it wasn't a huge liability claim, but gosh, what if that was someone that was older?
Oh yeah.
What if the baby was hurt? I mean, that could have easily gone from tens of thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
And so liability is a big one. Some policy limits with liability I see are $100,000. And I would love to have $100,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of money when you're getting sued.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And in my case, that could have been a lot worse. That was an eye-opener for me. I need to have at least $1 million.
Yeah.
On the policy, not including an umbrella, to have more and have a cushion there.
Yeah.
We need to have at least $1 million. And guess how much it was? As I'm doing quotes, Yoshi, to go from, let's say, 300,000 is our floor. I can't go below 300,000 with the carriers. Most of the carriers I represent.
Got it. How much?
You go from 300,000 to $1 million.
Yeah.
On this one single family rental property in Kearns.
Yeah.
Was a whopping $13.
Oh god.
A year.
Yeah. $1 a month.
It's
almost.
free.
It's
nothing.
Right.
That's $1 a month. Yes, I can budget that.
Yes.
And I think most investors can find $1 a month to budget.
Right.
But it's usually, they would say yes if the agent brought that up.
Right.
That's where some of the experience comes in. Hey, we need to get you $1 million of coverage, at least on this policy, if not more, and then we can talk about an umbrella.
Because you would think it's way more, from 100,000 to $1 million.
I'm tenfold, 10x.
Right.
If I got 10x more coverage in my building, I'm going to go from 500 a year to 5,000 a year. Like, no thanks.
Exactly.
And I can't buy this house anymore.
Right.
Liability coverage doesn't work the same. It's one of the most affordable ones to increase.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Very cool. I didn't know that.
And maybe one other one is it may just be me, it may not, but my rental properties, many of those are more than 50 years old. So they're built in the 70s.
Yes.
Or earlier.
Right.
Okay, building codes have changed since the 70s.
Yes.
And especially they built in the 50s and 40s and 30s, and I insured a home that was 120 years old last week. Building codes have changed a little bit in the last century and decades. Most of the times the home has also been updated internally for some of those main systems, but sometimes it hasn't. So let's say there is a kitchen fire.
Okay.
That one example you had, they were frying the turkey.
Yeah.
Let's say the whole home wasn't burned down, though, just part of the house.
Okay.
Well, of course, insurance is going to replace that part of the house, but the undamaged part of the house doesn't need to be replaced, does it?
Right. Gotcha. Well,
however, if you have to redo the electrical and the damaged part, you probably have to tear out all the electrical in the other part.
Yeah.
So you have to now demolish the other undamaged part of the house to get to the electrical so it can all be brought up to code.
Got it.
Right?
Yes.
We need coverage for that. That's not usually part of the policy, or there isn't enough coverage for older homes. That's called ordinance and law. So that would be another one, especially if we're looking at long-term holds, especially.
Yeah.
On older homes, 50, give or take more years.
Yeah.
We need to have some special coverages in there if that were to happen.
Yes, that makes sense.
It's not always a total loss. It's a partial loss because the fire company puts out the fire, let's say, or a flood impacts one area of the house, but not the whole house.
Right.
So those are just a couple. Liability, ordinance and law are some of the bigger ones. And we can look at sewer backup is another one. If it's an older house, the sewer system is probably kind of old.
Yeah.
So we may want some coverage for the backup into the house and for the sewer line. That's something that we can cover now most of the time.
Oh, got it. Cool. So if you had the wrong coverage, then let's go back to that 120-year-old house. Probably has knob and tube wiring. Kitchen burns down, but the rest of the house doesn't. Yeah. You now have to, you're not going to put knob and tube back to match the rest of the house.
No. You probably have to pull a permit in this house, I'm guessing. I don't think...
So you're going to pull all new electrical, but under the wrong policy to update the rest of the electrical that you've got to now pull out. You might not be insured for that. Is that correct? Got it. See, I wouldn't even know to ask that. That's why it's so good to have somebody who's an investor as well as an insurer like yourself know these things, right? Because owning a rental property, you yeah, geez, I wouldn't even thought. I just said, yeah, I'm insured. I'll be okay.
Yeah, it's fine, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
fire's covered.
I pay something every month.
Yeah, I got a policy. I got 40 pages here to prove. Here you go. Figure it out.
Exactly. Exactly.